of those days. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it was one of those days. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. Where everything just seemed to happen. I go to hang up a curtain, or to open the curtain rather, and the whole rod falls down. Like, okay, Mercury is in retrograde, I think, so that may have something to do with everything seeming to go wrong. Um, it was just the strangest day. I'm in the store, and I did exactly what I said yesterday on my video about getting in line, and then there's somebody else. Can you believe I did that? Must be law of attraction. I was thinking of it when I went to the store. But then I'm in traffic. I'm behind this person who must have been 120. And I'm just, are you serious? Probably going 18 miles an hour in a 40 miles zone. I thought I was going to have an absolute heart attack. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. It was just one of those days. Oh my gosh, I was about to go crazy. You guys know what I'm talking about when you just come home and you're just like, oh, flustered as can be because everything seemed to go just crazy. Ugh. Anyway, it just happened to be one of those tough days. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. And then I'm coming home, and right on the street there's cops, lights flashing all over, and they're lined up, helicopter flying right so low I could sit and read everything on the helicopter, and I thought, oh my God, is there some crazy nut running around the neighborhood? So I pull in real quick, pull into the garage, lock up my doors, who knows, you never know anymore. So yeah, that was real nice, and helicopter kept circling. I swear to you, I could read that thing. I could just sit there and read the words on the bottom of that helicopter, numbers and stuff. It was that low, and the house vibrated. So I don't know what was going on. Maybe it'll be on our news tonight, but oh, it just had me all. It just added to the joy of the day. Oh gosh. Anyway, so how are you guys doing? I hope you're having a good night or good day whenever you're watching this. Hope you're not having too many little trials and errors. Oh my gosh. My little Buddha, teach me some Zen. Teach me to be calm. I don't know. It's amazing how there are some days that are just so great, and others just seem to go to pot right off the bat. I mean, just bam, just amazing. And then I'm in the store and I see this really good looking guy, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's so handsome, about my age. And I look at myself. Of course, that was the day I thought, oh, I'm just gonna go in my man shirt and my leggings. I was just like, I just went real quick. So I thought, yeah, that figures now. If I'd have been dressed to the nines to look nice at the store or wherever I was going, yeah, I wouldn't have seen somebody that would have caught my eye even once, much less twice. So that's kind of seems to be the norm, and I don't know. It just, I don't know. It was just kind of a crazy day. So you guys, I hope you're, you know, if you had any trials today with your family or husband or whatever, partner or whatever you have in your life going on, I hope you can sit down and relax for a little while and just breathe in, just yeah, just breathe in and bring that energy level down a little bit. Do like my dogs do, just curl up in a ball and let go of the world. But tonight, what's been on my mind is men. Kind of a, yeah, subject, huh? You always hear the stories on TV, the jokes, how men can't figure women out. I'm sorry, it's women who can't figure men out. They seem to not have the simple logic just to exist in life. The majority of them. I don't know what that is. I don't know what the whole deal is that they are so. I don't want to say stupid. That's not nice, but they're so different than us. I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm thinking back to, like when I was married and dates and stuff, and I'm thinking, oh, hi, baby. I'm thinking to myself, my little girl, this is Elvira. Um, what happened to them on the, did they really, were they not in line, I mean, when somebody was dropping brains, I just can't help but wonder, guys. I mean, seriously, it's kind of weird how men are so different than us. I mean, I even think of my sons, and And it's just like, I don't know. Their thinking is so different. You know, you bring something up to them, and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And it's so true. Like, I don't know, a woman, and her friend will get together and they'll talk, about whatever happened that day, and they're just like, oh my God, can you believe this happened? Oh my gosh, and did you hear what so and so did? Do you know what my aunt did? Whatever, and you talk, just chat, A guy, you watch them get together. Hey, dude, how's it going? Good, cool. Hey, so what you been up to? Not much. Went riding. Yep. Okay, cool. There's their conversation. I'm like, wow, that was really exciting. My gosh, that was fun. I don't get that, but that's what they do. They're just so different, and I think about, when simple things at home, just the simple things that need to be done. It's like they all have to be told. I mean, if you see a pile of dishes in the sink and on the counter and everywhere else, does somebody actually need to say, well, maybe you could take a turn and do those dishes? Or do they not notice them? Or is it something they've just learned, to ignore so that the wife, the woman, the partner automatically does it? I don't know. I sometimes think it's some kind of a little game they have where, oh, I'll just pretend I don't know, I don't see this, and they'll get so fed up they'll do it. Or I'll do such a bad job that they'll decide it's not worth having me do it, so they'll do it. I think they have some kind of little thing going on. And and the other thing too, for all you ladies like me who are trying all the dating scene, and you try the online thing, don't aren't you just amazed at these profiles? I mean, I actually put on my profile because I got so fed up with it. I thought I don't care what these guys think of me. I put on there and I said it sounds more like you men are looking for another man to share life with rather than a woman, because this is a straight dating site. I mean, they don't get in there and talk about relationship, what they would like in a relationship, what they would like in a woman, what kind of personality. They don't. They sit there and have a list this long of I like to hunt, I like to fish, I like to swim, I like to hike, I like to do. I'm just like I like to car race, I like to fix cars, and it's like, okay, that's really special. I'm glad you like to do all that. And I don't think they realize that when they put this list of, I think it makes them look like they're these worldly, active people. When in reality, when I read dating, profiles like that, I'm thinking, where the heck are you going to have time for me with all that you do? And I especially love those ones. I get up every morning before work and I work out. I come home from work and I work out at the gym for 2 hours. I go jogging in the evening and I'm thinking, okay, that's just great. So where are you going to have 1 hour for me? These guys don't get it, that is not appealing. I want to see a man get on there and talk about what he wants from a relationship, what he wants in a woman, what he expects in the long run in the future. And then I love those photos of the ones, where they look like they just got through digging a ditch or something. They're in their plaid shirts, their nasty old jeans, their dirty old work boots, and their sweaty little dirty hats, baseball caps. I can't stand to see an adult man in a baseball cap. Don't ask me why. It just drives me insane. And then I love the other ones. They're holding a great big old fish. They're all dirty and gross looking and sweaty looking with their furry faces. And they're holding a big old fish like, no, see my fish. I don't get that. What the heck is that? I mean, that's not going to attract me, not me personally. I want a guy who looks nice and clean and, very well kept, and that's me personally. I look at some of these guys, and I especially love the ones that look like they're about to have a baby any day. You've seen those guys. They got their belts, their pants below the belly, and it's just curved out like this, and they're standing there all proud. And I'm just like, okay, when's it due? I don't know. And they have these pictures on there. I just don't get these guys. It amazes me. I had one contact me, and he tells me, well, I can meet you, you know, wherever we're going to meet. I was like, okay, that's fine. And he goes, that'll work out great that you don't mind meeting because I don't have a car. I have just a little motorcycle. And I'm thinking, sorry, pal. If you think I'm going to be on the back of a motorcycle, you're out of your mind. I'm sorry. It's one thing to go for a ride, but your main transportation, I don't think so. So I tell this guy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you don't have a car, I'm not going to be picking you up. I'm not going to be meeting you everywhere. That just kills the romance. And so he writes back and he says, Well, I'm glad to see to find out what a shallow woman you are that you care so much that I have a car. Well, let's see how much fun his next date is having when it's pouring rain, it's 100 degrees outside, or it's snowing, or the wind is so bad you can't even open your eyes. Yeah. Okay, let's see. And he can't figure out why he can't find anybody. Gee, duh. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But they are so weird. And even like with my sons, when they were teenagers and as they became, 20 something years old, I sit there and I don't understand their reasoning. You tell me, well, as a mother, of course, but as a woman too, it's like, you got to watch it. You got to be careful with what you're doing. Blah, blah. Oh God, that's ridiculous. It's going to be fine. It's just going to be fine. Nothing's ever going to go wrong. And then every time it does, you just kind of sit there thinking, yeah, whatever. I never said anything. I don't, I don't get the male species. They're very difficult, and unless you're one who's lucky enough to have gotten a great, great guy, well, lucky for you, and poo on you, poo, because they all just seem to be, I don't know, men just drive me crazy, guys. And when I was married, that's why I don't know if I'll ever get married again. I mean, it just drove me nuts. I felt like a mother to my husband. Honey, could you please pick up your towels off the floor? Honey, could you please not leave your shoes in the middle of the living room floor? Honey, could you please take that dish from the table, put it in the kitchen? Honey, I'm asking you, please. That's what you do all, and I don't have the patience or the tolerance for that ever again. It's like I need somebody who actually has, you know, brains to go with the eyeballs. Garbage up to here, take out. Uh, oh my gosh, lawn this high, should mow. Uh, Dishes piled this high, could help wash. I mean, just seriously. Car, making noise. I can take it to get it fixed, or I can fix it. It's just like I don't get it. I don't. Men just drive me insane. And that's why I don't know if I'll ever get married again. I do want to have somebody to spend the rest of my life with, don't get me wrong. But I don't know that I could ever go through the whole knowing I'm tied to this person through a legal paper. I don't think I can do that again. I don't know. I don't think I could be Mrs. Somebody again. I like being just Lori. Hi, I'm Lori, whoever. And I don't know if I can do that again. Unless, of course, well, I take that back. If it was George Clooney or Tom Cruise, I think I could handle marriage again. I love George Clooney. Oh my God, I just love him. I don't know what it is about that man, and something about Johnny Depp. I don't know what it is. There's something about Johnny Depp, that mysterious. Uh, I don't even know how to explain him. Just mysterious, and he's got that sexy kind of like private vibe about him. I don't know what it is, but there's something about that Johnny Depp that, yeah, he gets to me too. I look at these guys and I think, how come I keep getting the ones that look like Santa Claus, or they forgot to bathe in the last month? I don't get that. But oh gosh, when I think of George Clooney, my gosh. And I like Hugh Grant, and I like Hugh Jackman, and oh, I don't know. Those kind of guys, they kind of kill it for me when I look at real normal guys. Pot belly, gray beard, balding head. Oh, it's terrible, but it sort of kills it for me. So I spend my time looking around thinking, where's my George Clooney? George, I love you. George Clooney, my God, how I love you. That man, there's something about him to me that just, get that little heart going. You know what I mean. You all have a favorite out there somewhere. I don't care if you're married or with somebody or not. There's somebody out there in the movies or on TV that you look at privately in your heart. You're going, oh my God. You know what I'm talking about. But that's not the real world for most average people. I don't know. But I don't know. I think about men, and I'm just like, I want one so badly to share my life with, but I certainly do not want one where I have to feel like I have to take care of him in an emotional way. I don't mean take care of him like, if he's sick, of course I'll take good care of him. If he needs somebody to be there, of course I'll take care of him. But I mean in the way like, like a mommy, like having to tell things to him. I figure if I'm 57, and if a man by this age doesn't know what he's doing and how to do, things in life, then he's already got something wrong. Let me give you a quick example. I dated this guy. He, stupid me, I dated my attorney. Can you believe I'm that dumb? 2 weeks after I'm divorced, my divorce attorney asks me out. So, dummy me, thinking, oh, what the heck, a drink, who cares? Well, we ended up dating for a year, and that shows you how smart I was back then. Lord knows I'm much more intelligent now. And this guy, he's a very wealthy attorney. He's got his Jag, his Porsche, and well, designer suits and shoes and all that good stuff. And you know, in the entire year we dated, I never got one flower from this guy, not one. The only place he took me to was to a bar or to a restaurant with a bar to drink. When we would go back to his house, I'm thinking, oh, we're just talk, watch movies. No, drink, drink, drink. And stupid me stayed with him. I don't know why. And I look back now and I think this man was such an idiot. I mean, he really was an idiot. He would do things like constantly brag about his Rolexes and, oh, I just got these Italian leather shoes, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this guy doesn't even know how, he never would like talk with me, like ask me anything about life really. It was just more of a how are you doing, how's it going today, that sort of thing. And then into his wealth and his what have you. And I'm telling you what, guys, I dated this idiot for a year. What was wrong with me? I don't know. I had some brain cells missing. And so anyway, in that year, I got nothing from this man in terms of, how a guy gets you flowers or he buys you a little gift, or zero, zero, zilch, except on Valentine's Day, which then to me felt like an obligatory gift. Aside from that, nothing, absolutely nothing. So we started dating from one Christmas to the next Christmas, okay? Well, the first Christmas, got nothing from the guy, not even a card, nothing. That should have been a clue right there. Okay, the second Christmas after a year of dating, you will never believe this, okay? At that time, I'm living with 3 of my kids. And he brings me this, he comes with a friend, much less. The night before Christmas, he comes with a friend to drop off my gift. Didn't even invite me to do anything Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. That was it. I got a call Christmas Day, right? Well, anyway, he brings me this little package, and I'm thinking, oh, wow, I wonder what I got. I'm all excited, and I put it under the tree. I get up the next morning, and my daughter's like, come on, open it, Mom. We've got to see what he got you. Oh, my gosh, You will never believe this. This man, who did nothing but brag about his wealth, he got me a calendar and a trivia game for Christmas. For Christmas. I, I still, even just thinking about it, it gets me like, ah! I open that bag, take the little paper off the top, I open it, and I thought, am I seeing what I'm seeing? So I pull out the calendar, I pull out the trivia game, my heart dropped. I was so embarrassed. My kids were there, my neighbor, and my daughter goes, oh my God, if you ever see this guy again, I won't talk to you ever again. And my neighbor, she was just like, Lori, this cannot be for real. This is an insult beyond insults. Well, it was so embarrassing. Of course, I felt like the fool. At the time, I was, 48, I think, or whatever. And I could not believe that this is I mean, what am I, 16 to get a trivia game and a calendar? I mean, seriously? I was insulted. So I had to calm down because I knew I could really explode. So I waited like 2 days. It was the 25th I opened it. I waited 2 days. 3 days, actually. Yeah, 3 days. And I call him up that night and I tell him I'm starting my new year right. I am getting rid of the garbage in my life. And I told him the reason why real quick. And he goes, I can't believe you're doing this to me. Oh my God, what did I do wrong? Well, I don't know what you did wrong. It was so, I look back now and I'm thinking, did I really date this guy for a year? Oh my God. I mean, seriously. To see that calendar and that trivia game was just like a slap to no end in the face. There's my daughter, okay, who's 20, 21 at the time. Her boyfriend's same age as her. Oh my gosh, all the time he's just buying her little things. She loves candles. He'd buy her candles. She loves little bracelets. He'd buy her just a little, inexpensive. He didn't have money. He was a service guy. He'd buy her a little bracelet. Just the things that guys do. And here I am dating this wealthy man who shows up in his fancy suits, his Porsche and his Jag. I still, oh man, I gotta let that go because I could go forever. But you know what I'm talking about, those kind of guys that just, you wonder what is wrong with them. When you're in the dating world, you ladies out there who are married or with a partner, if you're happy, that is, if you're happy, you are so lucky, very, very lucky. Those of us still trying to find somebody, oh my gosh, it's a freaking nightmare. This is no lie, guys. I'm going to tell this, I'm being honest with you all out there. The last time I dated a guy, seriously, for any length of time, it ended in 2006, May of 2006. That is the last time I dated seriously. 3 years ago, I dated 3 guys from online, 1 date each. They were such idiots. I mean, absolute idiots. One was a total religious nut beyond words. It was scary, that kind of a religious scary thing. The other one was just a boring, boring, boring lump on a log. And the other one, he, guys, imagine this. You're on a date, you're sitting here, you got all dressed up for this date, you're at the table, you're thinking, wow, this is nice, nice looking man, oh great. And then he sits down, the waiter brings the menu, you look at it, you give it back, and he sits there and he's looking at you smiling, and then all of a sudden he goes, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, what's that? He goes, I gotta tell you, you could be my daughter's mother. You look just like my daughter. Oh my gosh, you could be her mother. Well, needless to say, the thrill went right out the door. It went right off that plate, down the table, onto the floor, and rolled out that front door. I mean, yeah, I want to be with a guy who's thinking I look like his daughter. Oh, it was so disgusting. I actually shivered, when you get that kind of like up your spine. I sat there looking at him. I said, I look like your daughter? And he goes, oh my God, you are the spitting image. I swear you could be her mother or her older sister. Here, I'm trying to be nice. Or her older sister. I mean, what kind of crazy man thinks that by telling a woman she looks just like his daughter, that's going to be some kind of a turn on? Oh, honey, well, you're kissing me and holding me. Let's be thinking of your daughter. Ooh. So, guess what? That date ended. I pretended I wasn't feeling well. I was like, I got to go. I really appreciate this, but I really have to go. And then I just left. And so then when he emailed me, I emailed him and told him the truth. And he says, well, I can't believe you didn't take that as a compliment. I was just saying, because my daughter is really beautiful. Oh, goody. I'm beautiful like his daughter, and I look like his daughter. Wouldn't that have been so romantic and fun? Oh, my God. Some of those guys that I went out with, they were an absolute trip. I got to tell you another one. This one guy, he was so handsome he was so handsome on the site, right? And so we agreed to meet at this really nice restaurant. So I'm all dressed up. I'm waiting. I wanted to get there before him. I decided I don't like showing up after the guy because they sit there just watching you. So now I like to show up first and look for them. And so I'm sitting there waiting for him. He told me what he was going to, he was going to bring a bouquet of flowers. He says, you'll see a big bouquet of flowers. I thought, oh, how sweet. So I'm sitting here at the entry, the lobby of the restaurant facing the door. And I see this guy walking up, right? And I thought to myself, oh my God, he's got flowers. No, you wouldn't do this to me. He was wearing a total like polyester 1970s something suit, right? And then he's got this big flare white collar coming out to his shoulders, open down to here with gold chains. He had about, I don't know how many things of gold on his wrist. He had every finger with little gold rings. And his hair was completely slicked back. I don't know if it was gel or grease or what, but it was slicked back. And I thought, oh God, no, that can't be. As he got closer, I thought, oh, that does look like his face. So he walks in the door in his dark blue polyester suit with his big white collar and chains. Everybody in the lobby and the restaurant, they're just like, looking at him, and I see them all snickering. They're all like, I could see them just pointing like, oh my God, And he comes over to me. I'm sitting there on this stool, right? He comes over to me. You're Lori, right? And I just went, yeah. And he goes, oh, it's so good to meet you. Comes over, hugs me, and I'm just like, everybody everybody staring at me. I felt like such a fool. Okay, I could have died when this man walked in. We walked back into the restaurant. We ordered some food. I wanted a nice goat cheese spinach pizza. I love those. So I ordered that as a treat. It comes to the table. I go to get a piece of that pizza, right? This is not an exaggeration, guys. I am not lying to you. Listen to me. This is true. I go to get a piece of pizza. Next thing I do, I feel, and I was like, I freaked out. And it was him. He grabbed my hand, pulls it over, puts both his hands over my hand, right? It was my left hand. He puts both his hands over it, and he goes, "You are not thinking of grabbing a piece of food before you say grace, are you?" And I just freaked. I was like, oh my goodness. And so the people that were kind of near us heard that, so they were all kind of, like looking. And I looked at him, I said, well, that's not something I do. I'm grateful. I don't feel I have to say anything out loud. I feel it inside of me. I'm grateful for this, thankful. He goes, oh no, that's not how you do that. No, that is wrong. That is sinful. So he sits there and he starts saying this prayer out loud. And so right then I thought, oh man, I need to get out of this. So luckily, the waiter, smart guy, young guy, must have been 20. He apparently had been listening to this, so he walks over and he goes, ma'am, he goes, is there anything you need? And I just went, no, this is good, thank you. He goes, oh, okay. And he noticed that the guy, my date, was, busy on his plate at that time. The waiter looks at me and he winks, and I thought, what? Oh, now the waiters are freaking crazy. So I'm sitting there thinking, how can I get out of this? And then the waiter comes over and he goes, ma'am, he goes, I'm so sorry to disturb your dinner, but you have a phone call. And I said, a phone call? And he goes, yes. He goes, you've got a phone call. I'm so sorry. So I was like, oh my God, something's happened. So I get up, I go over there, and he goes, I go to the back. He says, let me show you the phone. So we go to the back. He says, I saw what happened. Do you want help getting out of this situation? A young man with brains. And I was just like, yes, oh my God, please, I don't know what to do. He says, tell you what, you go out the back door, go to your car, I'll tell that guy that you just had to leave. It was an emergency. I was like, are you serious? And he goes, yes, ma'am, I will do this for you. I saw what he did, and that is inappropriate, unforgivable. And so I said, oh, but I left my purse over there. He says, don't worry. So he runs, he gets it, and he says, I just told him that you were on the phone and you were worried about your purse. He goes, now you go get in your car so he doesn't see what car you're in, and off you go. And so I did. And I left the guy a nice tip, of course, because what a wonderful thing for this young man to do who saw my situation. He said, I saw your face and I knew. He said, I know what women are doing. He says, your brain was just flying. Like, how do I get out of this? So I did. I was so grateful. And that just goes to show you. And then I get home, and there's a message. My son was home, and I get home, the phone rings, and I knew it was him, so I didn't answer it. He leaves a message. He says, I knew that you were inhabited by the devil. I could sense that Satan had surrounded you and infiltrated every cell of your body, and you shall burn in hell for what you have done. And because you did not say grace, he says, for your food before you sat down, I promise you, you shall find starvation in your life. Oh my God, he was saying all these kinds of wacko things on this message. And my son was like, Mom, no more. These guys are crazy. They're absolutely crazy. So I got off of the dating sites for, that was, what, I don't know how many years ago. Decided to try it again this year, thinking maybe things were different. They're pretty much not different. The guys behind the computers are messed up guys. They really are. So you women be careful, because I don't know what it is with them. I really do. Honest in my heart, I believe that the reason they're behind the computers, they don't have what it takes. They don't have they don't have what it takes to to go up to a woman and talk to her like it used to be. Like I said in my other video, and I think that shows there's something. I'm sure there's. I won't say all of them, of course. There there've been success stories on dating sites, but I'll tell you what, that for me so far it hasn't been that way, and I don't like it. But anyway, that's another man experience. But you ladies know what I'm talking about. It's just like men seem to be so different in a way that sometimes I look at it and I think, I think they really were like at the bottom of the chain, you know, when the only thing was that they lost the fur and their human form instead of ape form. I think that's kind of the only difference because they really are different. I don't know what to say about them, but anyway, that's some of my experiences with men, and I'll tell you another one that was real fun. You know, it cracked me up. I dated this. I mean, now it cracks me up. Back then, it didn't. And I know a lot of you will be able to relate to this. You women who have dated men with children. I dated this guy who had a 17-year-old daughter, and I think he was 20 or 21-year-old son. This guy was insane too, and I don't know what was wrong with me that I went out with him. I am telling you, this guy was nuts. Ex-wife calling 4, 5, 6 times a day for whatever reason she felt like calling. She would threaten to come over if she knew I was there. Believe it or not, her daughter had to go stop her from coming to the house because she knew I was at the house. And this woman called incessantly for stupid things. Well, how's it going today? And I'm just like, okay. I finally had to talk with him and said, look, if she's going to be in your life this much, forget it. I can't do this. This is insane. This just will not happen in my life. And he was like, oh, well, you're being unreasonable. This is crazy. And this guy really believed that her being in their life nonstop all the time was okay. And it's not like they had little children, a 17-year-old, 20-year-old. It's not like, mommy needs to be calling all day to see how the baby's doing. And it just drove me insane. And this guy was cheap as could be. Cheap, 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 cheap. He asked me, he would say, let's get dressed up, or let's go to dinner. I'm going to take you to a nice dinner. I get dressed up. He took me to this little Mexican buffet type of thing where it's like everybody shows up after work, after, after after you're through paying the house, and it's just a place to go get some quick food. Or Burger King or Taco Bell. That was his idea of taking me out to dinner. The guy was just, he was crazy. I mean, the guy was absolutely crazy. So cheap as could be too, never got a flower for him till I broke up with him, and then he brings a big old bouquet of roses, of which of course then it just didn't mean anything to me. Oh, he was just the same way. Never thought to do something special, I think I'll pick this up for Lori. She'd love this, like I used to watch all my daughter's boyfriends do that. And here I am with adult men, and they couldn't even think to give a card or anything else, or one rose, So, anyway, guys, um, I hope you're having a somewhat good night, and it's going to be the weekend. Today's Friday, and hopefully it'll be a nice weekend for all of you, and for those of you who maybe you're going through hard times, divorce, separation, or you broke up with your guy, and you're crying and you're down. Remember, there are other fish in the sea, and I know it seems hard. I get lonely. That's why I made my lonely video. Excuse me. I get lonely too. But there are other men out there, and it's just a matter of when it's supposed to be. It'll happen. And if you've just broken up with somebody through divorce or just a breakup, and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't take this, remember, men, we have a tendency when we get lonely, like after a breakup, divorce, or whatever, or your partner, like I say, gay, straight, whatever you are, you break up with your partner, we have a tendency to, particularly as women, to think of the good things about them, like, oh, I remember the time he did this, oh, I remember the time he did that. We seem to forget all those things that made us want to explode and blow our brains out when we were with them, that led to the divorce. We just seem to forget all that. And that's what you need to do if you've broken up with somebody and you know in your heart that he wasn't a good guy for you. You know. Don't pretend you don't. Don't act like, oh no, I don't know what wrong. You know that little gut feeling that says he was no good for you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You sit there and you think, oh gosh, he was so sweet when he did this, and then there's this little twitch in your stomach because it's saying, you know better. You think of those things, guys. Think of the things that they did that drove you crazy, that made you want to cry, that hurt you maybe, literally, physically, or emotionally, mentally. Think of all those things that the guy, that he did. And I'm telling you, you start to come out of that depression that men can cause because we have this tendency as women to want to fix everything, like, oh, it's going to be all right. He's going to be all right. I'm going to make this work. Don't do it, guys. Think about the things that drove you crazy. If you're dealing with a breakup of some sort, and you will get out of it so fast. I'm telling you, you start thinking of those more and more. That's what happened to me after the last one that I dated for a long time, for a year. And I was idolizing these thoughts of him of, oh, I remember this. And then I started thinking, what is wrong with me? He everything he did really was wrong. It really was. I was just kind of like, I don't know, making up a resume about him, the good parts, and fibbing and lying in that resume. And in reality, when I looked at it and read the real book of him, he was a nightmare of a book. So that's what you need to do, guys. Think of men. For you in breakups, think of the bad things. It'll get you through really fast. I promise you, it'll just bring that out of you. Like, oh my God, what was I thinking to be with this guy? Those of you that are with guys and they're driving you crazy, well, I don't know what state you're in, whether you're happy or unhappy. Only you know that. But guys can drive us crazy, ladies. They can drive us crazy. So try to enjoy this weekend, and whatever you're going through, try to find the positive side. Even if you're looking at him in the face thinking, oh, I could run away for the next 20 years and I'd be okay. You know that feeling? Just try to deal with it. And it goes for anybody, like if you're gay and you have a partner, same sex, same thing. You look at that partner and you think, oh my gosh, I need to get away fast. So try to get through the weekend, guys. Know that there's always, I want you to really, in your heart, focus, believe, how can I put it? I haven't done this as faithfully as I am telling you to do this. I tended to go in and out of it. And my daughter is a firm believer of the law of attraction, and she really follows it, and things just fall into place for her. It's amazing how things fall into place for her. So I started doing this. Okay, I'm taking it seriously. Following the secret and adding other things to it. Focus on what you want in life, from a man, from a relationship. We're talking about men in this video, or partners. Excuse me. Focus on what you want, and believe it's already there. When you lay down at night, if you're single, and lay down and pretend he's there. Pretend you can feel him just holding you. Pretend you can visualize what he looks like, what he's saying to you. Visualize getting up in the morning and having coffee together. And I'm starting to do this. I didn't take it seriously. I started, stop it, start, stop it. I'm going to continue it now. Little things are starting to happen aside from the man thing. I've been applying it, and it's actually, within the last few days, I'm having things just happen. And I'll give you a quick example. It was very strange. I have a homeopathic doctor, and you can never reach this woman unless you call before 8 o'clock in the morning, if you're lucky, because she is so jam-packed. She never picks up that phone. I have been with her since 1996. She never picks up that phone during the day because she's busy all day with her patients. She runs her business at home. So I needed to ask her a question yesterday, and I hadn't talked to her in quite a while. So I called her. I walked into the room thinking, oh, I don't know why I'm calling her. She's not going to answer. I called. Of course, it went to voicemail. Walked back to my bedroom, and I thought, no, I'm going to call that woman today, and she's going to pick up the phone immediately. I go in there with that thought. I call. She picks up the phone. I was like, And I was like, hi. And she goes, and she's English. She goes, darling, how are you doing? I was just, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I could not believe she picked it up. It floored me. And you might think, oh, coincidence. But you don't know. I've been with her since 96. You don't get her during the day. But I had the thought, it's going to happen. It did. And then the other day, another thing that was so, to me, it was just so wonderful. I could not find my sunglasses. I was just at a loss for my sunglasses. So I sat down and I was like, all right, universe, I need to know where my sunglasses are. I need them. I want to know now. And I sat there and like this thought came to me to go back to the room that's connected to the utility room. It was just like, I never would have thought I took them there, but I actually left them there. There they were. It was just like instant. It was like a vision came into my head. They were exactly where I had envisioned it after I said, show me where they are. So You start applying this faithfully to the kind of guy you want. Picture the things you're going to do with him. You go out with him, movies, go to dinner. Picture how he talks to you. Imagine him talking to you, the kind of voice, the kind of tone. Um, when you're having that cup of coffee, if you're single in the morning, imagine him being right next to you or at the table and you're talking with him. You visualize him there. And I'm doing this now and I'm starting to feel better, a lot better, because I don't have the thought of, yeah, right, whatever. I'm starting to feel like, yeah, there is a million men out there. One of them's there for me. I know there's one for me. And, or maybe more than one. But I only want one. And if you're with somebody, with a partner, and you're not liking the way they are, visualize them. Put the energy to them of how you want them to be. If you've got a grumpy old husband, if you got a kind of distant, cold husband, whatever, visualize it. Send that energy to them of what you're wanting. Don't say it, just think it. Feel how you would feel if they were talking or being the way you want them to be towards you. And you just feel better. I'm telling you, it just seems to do something in how you feel, which puts something different out to that guy. So anyway, guys, um, when it comes to men, they can drive you crazy, no doubt. But they also can be a really wonderful thing, to have in your life. Oh, my throat tonight, it's weird. But they can be a wonderful thing to have in your life. So visualize, guys. Visualize what you want. If you don't have one, visualize what you want in the one you do have. And just focus on that and feel good about it. And all the stuff they do to drive you crazy, what could I say? We got to get through the day because we are women and we are strong. And that's why we're able to tolerate men, because we are strong. Otherwise, do you think you could get through a day with a man if you weren't strong in your heart, your soul, your mind, your body? No, you couldn't, because of the things they do to drive us crazy. So anyway, you guys have a great weekend. I will talk to you later, and I wish you all the best. And visualize, focus. Breathe deep in through the nose, out through the mouth. Do it a few times. Relax. Bring yourself down and enjoy the rest of the evening or day whenever you watch this, and I will see you guys later. Love all of you. I love your comments. I love hearing from you. You make me feel good, and I wish you all the best. So talk to you later, guys. I'm going to go have myself a nice cup of hot chocolate and relax for the evening. So we will talk to you later. Bye-bye, guys. Mwah!